Everybody, welcome back to Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home for another shave. We're going to do another straight shave today, and our equipment for the day is going to be, but let's wait. Before you get started today, don't forget www.theshavingcadre.com. We'd like you to come and visit us. We think we're the finest gentlemanly forum on the interwebs. And then if you like what you see, please like and subscribe, comment, and click on the barber pole with the cowboy hat, and that'll get you subscribed and everything else. We're at about 957 as far as subscribers, so we're on our way to 1,000. Anyways, so for the shave, basically, we are going to be using a JP Alchemisi General Bagdolio. This is a brand that is out of Schenectady, New York. It's actually a Solingen blade, but it's just absolutely beautiful. If you look at the bolsters and you look at the scales, very unique, very, very unique. And this is a 6/8, and I would say this is a full hollow for sure. For the brush today, you know it, you love it. One of your favorites, the Sorrentino Coca Cola brush. Yes, and that's got ice cubes in it, and that's got a synthetic knot on it. And so obviously for the soap today, we are using the cold one, and this is by who is this by? This is by Apex Alchemy. I knew that, out of Chicago, Illinois. And this is a really nice homage to Coca Cola. It's a really nice soap, and we'll be following that with the aftershave, and we'll surprise you on the EDP for today. So let's go ahead and get started. Hope everybody's having a nice Monday. And the one thing about the Apex soaps is I float, like I do with all my soaps, I float a little bit of water on top. And that softens up the soap a little bit. And it doesn't take a large load of the soap, but it's just wonderful. And really, a lot of people don't realize that a big component of any type of Coca-Cola flavoring is cardamom. And so if you have, and the hard part is finding an EDP that has cardamom in it. This one that I have, although it's named something different, it's got cardamom in it. And so it matches real well. And then adding any citrus, whether it be lime or lemon, to this makes it a really nice experience. Good for summer months. So that's it as far as the load. It's really, really easy. Had a great Zoom call yesterday, as we do every other Sunday. When there's really no subject that we don't talk about. It's a really voluminous soap as well on the fragrance, although not quite Coca-Cola, it may be just a tad sweeter. To me, it would be like a mixture between Coca-Cola and RC Cola. Maybe a little bit of the Shasta Cola that we all remember. It really reminds me of one called Pleasure Time. Pleasure Time, I don't know if it was just in Arizona or if it was in different parts of the country, but what you would do is you'd walk into Pleasure Time. It was a big warehouse, and you had a cart that had a green crate in it, and it would fit these 14-ounce bottles. And they had every flavor under the sun. It was called Pleasure Time Soda. And you would go in and you'd pick, and it was so much per case. All the things were the same. So usually we got a case of the Coca-Cola, and it was all cane sugar. It was real stuff, not this artificial crap. And every soda you can think of. And Pleasure Time Marts is what it was called. And that's really what this what this flavor smells like is that pleasure time soda. So if anybody who's lived in Arizona or in Tucson specifically, we had that. And like I said, I don't think it was just in Arizona. It was back in the late 60s and 70s. The place we used to get it at is now a bicycle shop. But it was a great, great place. And I remember they had, they had the Pleasure Time Coca Cola, or Coke Cola. They had the Pleasure Time root beer. Then they had lime. They had cream soda. They had key lime. They had all kinds of flavors, grape, and some weird flavors too. And I don't know whatever happened to them. They went out of business. Then in the late 60s, early 70s also, there was Shamrock Dairy here in town. Back in the days of milk delivery, they still had them in the glass bottles. And Shamrock had a cola too that was really, really good. There is one milk brand that you can still get in Arizona that is, I mean, Shamrock is still around, obviously, but they're not local and don't have the local delivery people anymore. And everything's, of course, in cardboard and plastic-coated containers. But there is one family-owned dairy up in the Phoenix area that's, I think it's called Eisenman, I think. That may be wrong. But they still provide their milk in a glass bottle, big, huge glass bottle, and then you actually turn it in and get money back, just like the old days. So, but it's a pretty expensive milk, but it's really, really good. No GMOs, no chemicals. There's a lot of nostalgia that the younger generation doesn't realize we had. Watched a movie yesterday, one of my favorites, called Hollywood Nights, which is about cruising in California. This one is about a car club, bunch of guys, called the Hollywood Nights, that tear up the joint on Halloween night because Tubby's Drive-In is being closed down. And just a hilarious movie. You know, along the same veins as American Graffiti. But this one's a little bit more a little bit more risque. But you know, a lot of first-time stars in it. I think that was Tony Danza's first movie. He plays a guy by the name of Duke, and then it was Michelle Pfeiffer's first movie. And I think she was 19. A lot of good actors that went on to have pretty good careers, but it's just a hilarious movie. But the point being that cruising in most cities is almost non-existent now because most of the drive-ins, per se, are gone. So now the only time you really see hot rods is at car shows and stuff like that. Our main cruising area was Speedway. And we had some drive-ins, and we could park and You know, everybody would be parked on the side of the road, and a lot of fun. But then they made cruising illegal. And then we'd go up to Phoenix to Main Street on Mesa. Same thing, made cruising illegal. Then we went up to Metro Center up in Phoenix, and they made a rule that stated that if you were seen cruising past the same point in a 2-hour period, that was considered illegal cruising, and you'd get a ticket. And then Tucson, I'm not sure if Tucson adopted it, but Speedway pretty much on Friday and Saturday nights is dead now to cruising. South 6th Avenue was pretty good. It's where most of the Hispanic folks were down in South Tucson, and it's where the lowriders went. But, you know, back in the day, the lowriders and the hot rodders got along fine, but now it's, you know, just like anything else in the world, it's a little bit crazy down in those areas. So it's sad that cruising is gone, and the drive-ins and stuff like that. So there's my get off my lawn moment as an older person. But it was a much simpler time and a lot of fun. Plus, gas was a lot cheaper too. Should be noted that this razor was taken across a ball strap. As well as a leather strap for $50 each. And the original hone on this, I believe, yeah, this is a cauticule with an arc finish. We had an interesting conversation on the Zoom call last night late after most everybody left, but it was talking about grinds of straight razors and how, and different honing methods. And the one flaw in the whole works is that each face is different. So, you know, a lot of people say that grind doesn't make a difference, it's the edge. Not true, in my opinion, as a barber, because I see different facial structures and hair structures. Grind certainly makes a difference. And, you know, some people say that, oh, I can't shave with a hollow. Well, that's because what's happening is the hair is resilient enough to bounce the edge off regardless of how sharp it is. So matching a razor grind to your face is very important. I'm fortunate that I can usually go all the way from wedges to full-bellied hollows, but some people can't. Somebody that's got a really coarse beard, in my opinion, may struggle with a full hollow or a full-bellied hollow because the tensile strength of the whisker. Whereas, you know, so, you know, they may be recommended, we talked about this, you know, they may be better with a half hollow or a 3/4 hollow than a full hollow. And I do notice the difference between a full hollow on my face even and a 1/4 hollow. The best ones that probably the best overall is probably 1/4 hollow for me. But I can shave with most all of them. Okay, let's see. Nice overall shave, again, as always. Also, I want to thank those folks that made comments about my straight razor learning series, module 106, which is basically what I'm doing right now, the flat blading and the buffing. And as I said, just be careful if you're going to try it. And please, please, please do not try the flat blading unless you're really sure yourself. Because really all the flat blading is doing is just taking off that little corner at the top of your follicle just to finish it off. And do you need to do that? That's up to you. I do want to give a shout out to all my new subscribers here, and also all of our new members over on the Shaving Cadre that have found us through either my channel or through one of the other channels that I'll have listed in my description section. Zero alum stain. And today we are going to be using an oldie but a goodie, Thayer's Lemon. And that kind of adds to that feeling of summer and the Coca Cola feeling and stuff like that. So it's really, really nice. And again, the brush today is the Eric Sorrentino Coca Cola brush. Just a fun, fun brush to have. Nice shave today. Not quite DSBBS, but pretty good. And again, the razor, if I haven't said so, is the JP Alchemisi General Bagdolio. Aftershave today will be the cold one. This is an aftershave milk. It does separate, but really, really nice. Let that dry down for just a second. Our talc today is going to be Yardley Gold. And this is going to be a talc bomb, I think. Oops. It's not that bad. And this has got kind of a... I use this with a lot of my fougères and stuff like that because it's got a... kind of a sharp note, but it's almost, as weird as it sounds, it almost gives the cold one a carbonated kind of, you know, that carbonation smell that you get. it has a tendency to, so it matches real well with, so I'm assuming there is some cardamom in here and some other goodness. Oh, and it brings out that, the one thing I noticed with talc, and I don't mention that too much when showing people about talc, is it actually will enhance the fragrance that you have on your face, whether it be an aftershave or an EDP, because the particles of the talc will hold on to that fragrance. Okay, so what kind of EDP would we use to go with this? And believe it or not, the one that I've found that has some cardamom in it but smells a lot and really complements the cola is Ferrari Radiant Bergamot. This is a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. And, you know, a lot of people look at Ferrari as a very inexpensive Ross type cologne. And, you know, and yeah, it's not your high-end Creed or anything like that. But I tell you, it is really good stuff. The Noble Fig is really good. One of our former members, Scuttle Soap, Brian, he's the one who turned me on to the larger ones. I had the Ferrari, Scuderia Ferrari, but he turned me on to these as well. And we do miss Brian. We wish him the very best. Okay, everybody, that's my shave for today. I certainly appreciate you joining us here at Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. We'll probably see you again tomorrow. Please, as I said, like, subscribe, comment. I'll try to get back to your comments as soon as possible. And as always, come and visit us, www.theshavingcadre.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and take care.